All right, my friend. We're going to talk some starting five. This was a good one. Starting five tonight, Major League Baseball All-Star MVPs. They had to have at least won one MVP in an All-Star game, and we've got to give you our starting five from that. And there are some phenomenal players. At one point, we made a joke today. We could have had a starting 25 because that's how many solid guys there were and guys I left off. Ron, you are first tonight. I can't wait. Listen, your honorable mention probably could be a starting five as well because I'm sure mine could.
Yes, and I'm actually surprised that I have somebody on my starting five because at the beginning, I like to test myself, and I penciled this player in at number 2.
Wow. And now he's honorable mention. All right, let's hear it. I can't wait. What do you got? Who's your honorable mention?
So starting at the bottom of my honorable mentions, I went with Dave Parker. I couldn't believe
I had him on there and I took him off. I took him off my honorable mention because that's how many guys there were.
Yeah.
But he had some good numbers, Dave Parker.
He had some great numbers, including a couple of batting titles.
Yes. No, agreed. Dave Parker.
And 2 World Series.
Yeah. Yes.
I also have on my honorable mention Cal Ripken Jr.
I have Cal Ripken Jr. on my honorable mention as well.
One-time World Series champion.
The Iron Man.
Of course, the Iron Man himself.
Jeez, you'll never see that again in baseball or any sport.
Nope. Also on my honorable mention, I have Ichiro.
Not on my honorable mention.
I had him there. I looked at his numbers, and I could only imagine if he would have played a full career in Major League Baseball. Woo! Those numbers would have been incredible.
Okay.
Also, I have Juan Marichal on my honorable mention.
Took him off because I had to put some other guys in.
And last but not least, who I thought was going to be my number 2, Ken Griffey Jr.
On my honorable mention, believe it or not.
I cannot believe it. I can't believe it.
Ron, listen to my honorable mentions right now because I don't get what I'm doing. Because I still think I'm looking at these names out and go, what am I doing?
I know.
And we'll go from the bottom like
you leave some of them off the honorable mention.
Yeah, exactly. And I went Mike Trout. Listen, very good numbers for his career, but again, not enough body of work. So I Mike Trout, not a big deal. Don Sutton, very good pitcher, left off. Joe Morgan did not make my list.
Didn't even make my honorable mention.
Brooks Robinson.
Oh, he's fantastic too.
Phenomenal. Mike Piazza.
Yep.
Look at his numbers, man. Very good for a catcher. Kirby Puckett. Kyle Yastrzemski. His numbers are phenomenal. They really are very good.
Yeah.
Numbers. Pedro Martinez did not make my list.
Well, I left off that guy.
I know what you did, and I'm not leaving him off. And then this one hurt a lot, and I debated. Frank Robinson did not make my list. Was not in my starting 5.
I know.
Crazy. It's insane. All right, my friend. I got to hear these. I'm so excited. Number 5, Ron. You got. Who do you got?
All right. So I have Carl Yastrzemski.
Great.
Look, he was close, but I couldn't put him higher. I mean, his numbers are fantastic. Look, the only guy on the list with a Triple Crown as a hitter. I mean, those numbers are just ridiculous if I can find some of them. First of all, 3,419 hits. That is second best. So, I mean, second best in hits. And then you throw in 452 home runs to go on top of that. And I know his average was 285, but a lot of that average dropping was later in his career when he was hobbled by injuries.
You got to count it.
I know, but that's what dropped him to number 5, to be honest with you. I almost put him number 3, and then I just decided it's like no, because there was one thing that was glaring. That stellar career didn't result in any World Series. And but the 18 All-Stars,
Yeah, no,
three-time batting champion, the Triple Crown. I mean, those numbers are just stellar. And I
yeah.
can't believe he actually had 168 stolen bases.
Listen, great numbers, and I told you it was hard to keep him out. Like
7 gold gloves too, by the way.
yeah, very good, very good. I went at 5. I went Ichiro. And I love that. The highest average out of all these guys that we had, 311,
Yeah.
3,089 hits. He did win an MVP, 10-time All-Star, 10-time Gold Glove, 3 Silver Sluggers, 2 batting titles, the Rookie of the Year, and obviously the All-Star MVP. And I love the fact of it to bat 311, and that's 3,000 hits, over 3,000 hits. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and it's funny too because like when I was trying to figure out who that number 5 guy was going to be, it was between Yaz, Griffey Jr., and Ichiro. And I looked at it and I'm like, well, neither of them have, the World Series. So basically, it really came down to those 3 batting titles that Yaz had versus the 2 that Ichiro had and the Triple Crown. That's what it came down to those 3 guys.
I hear you. This wasn't easy.
No,
4.
it was difficult.
Who do you got it for?
Number 4, Mariano Rivera.
Ooh.
I have him at number 4, and I know, like, it went against everything I had as a human to put a Yankee there.
One of the best. Oh, it's one of the best. You can't.
He is one of the best. Look at those save numbers. 652 saves. That means 652 times this guy came in, slammed the door shut.
How many closers do you know have 1,173 strikeouts? Like, that's pretty impressive.
That's what I was looking at. I was looking at those numbers, and I'm like, wait a minute. This man has 1,200 less innings pitched than Juan Marichal. But those strikeouts are really close. And it's like, how is he's that good. He's that good.
One of the best.
And an awesome human.
Yeah, agreed.
And that's,
I give you that.
As a Red Sox fan, when you can respect a guy like that on the opposite team, like the Red Sox finally got him to him when he was what 40?
Yeah, it took a while.
Like, that was it. It was basically Poppy that had his number. That's it. Other than that, the rest of the league sucked against him.
Yeah, no, agreed. All right, at 4, I went Roger Clemens, and I know you weren't going to put him on your list. I knew you wouldn't. But 354 wins, a 3.12 ERA, 4,672 strikeouts run. Insane.
Yeah, it is insane.
He had an MVP.
You're never going to see that again.
MVP, 7-time Cy Young, 7. That's crazy. 2 Triple Crowns. So not only did it once, did it twice.
Yeah.
11 All-Stars, 7-time ERA champ. That's crazy to think about in today's era of pitching.
Yeah.
He had a 2-time champion, Major League Baseball Player of the Year, and an All-Star MVP, obviously. So I know you were going to keep him out, but I don't agree with that whole piece that you don't. So I put him in at 4. Yeah. He would be on my team.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3.
Number 3, I have yet another Yankee. This is a sad day for me.
This is blasphemy because they should be higher. But go ahead.
Higher?
Yes, but go ahead.
I couldn't put him higher.
But you got the captain. You got the captain at
Derek
3.
Jeter. Oh my God! The only thing that I could say. How is that boo? How is that boo? He's number 3 on this list.
Go ahead. What do you got? Go ahead. Talk to me.
Look, the only thing, like he only he only had 260 home runs. And I know that's not the type of player he is, right? But what this guy brought to the table, it goes beyond the numbers. 3,465 hits, the most on the list. And with a 310 batting average, there was no slacking. 1,900 runs scored, 1,300 RBI. Not bad for a guy that basically led off or was second in the lineup his whole career.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I think later on in the career, he went to number 3 because they didn't have as much pop in the lineup at the time. But, you know, I mean, this guy was phenomenal. 358 stolen bases, 14 All-Stars, 5 Gold Gloves, and I think he got robbed there, to be honest with you. 5 Silver Sluggers. I mean, a World Series MVP doesn't hurt either.
Mm-hmm.
But those 5 World Series titles.
Mm-hmm. Phenomenal.
That's a leader right there. That's a leader. And
this is why I'm upset.
Outside of 1 and 2, I mean, I couldn't put him any higher.
I got to see who these 1 and 2 are after. But I went 3 Mariano Rivera. And for all those reasons, and not only, yes, 5-time champion, Ron, he was a World Series MVP. How many times do you see that from a reliever?
Yeah. Oh, I know.
Right?
I know.
Like, that's how good he was.
Yeah.
Like, he shut down an entire team in the World Series.
If I'm not mistaken, I thought he played in 6 of those games in the World Series. 5 of those games, sorry.
I think he did. I think he pitched in all of them. But that's crazy to think about.
I just remember him being in there almost every game.
A reliever to be an MVP in a World Series. You don't see that too often. All right, what do you got at 2? I gotta hear. I gotta see these.
Number 2, I have Pedro Martinez. You know, and if I counted Clemens, he probably would have been in that spot, and then everybody else would have been knocked down. But I have Pedro there. He's a dominant pitcher.
He was. If you look at the numbers, him and Roger aren't even close. And I get it. I get why you do it, but I'm just saying that's why.
Yeah.
And now I understand why you got where you got. Because otherwise, I don't think it would have been.
I have Clemens as an omission, and there's no.
I think we got to start doing these, and you got to do like asterisk, like Roger Clemens at 2, but asterisk. So then at least you'll feel better about it. But you can't.
You want me to do that from now on?
I'm just saying you can't tell me 4,672 strikeouts.
I just said
Pedro's very good. But
I think have Roger here.
Yeah, I know. What has Roger got? 150 more wins?
A lot. Yeah, no.
Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. But go ahead.
He's one from the.
It's still in the record books, but go ahead. Pedro.
He's one of those guys that have the old stats, right? That just pitched like all game every week.
All right, I'll give it. Okay, all right, Pedro at 2.
You know, and you needed some help on recovering.
All right, I went Jeter at 2.
Yeah,
and again,
I get it.
310, 34. I know it sounds like I'm a homer, but I'm just saying 3,400 hits and batting 310 blows my mind because it wasn't like you got.
Because Eric, I am not questioning that because I had a tough time where to put Jeter. I didn't know if I was going to put him above or below Pedro, and I settled on I think the pitcher is more important, so I went boom.
Yeah, all right.
That's that.
So
because
I think we're gonna have.
Jeter is a hell of a player, and
I'm almost positive we're gonna have the same number 1 here. But go ahead.
It's not even close. It's not even close. This was a shoo-in for me because I think this man is probably the best player that's ever played, and it's Willie Mays.
Agreed.
Like
number 1.
I'm looking at these numbers. These numbers are ridiculous. They're ridiculous. And, you know, back in that time, they didn't have all these like silver sluggers and all that. He would have won them all.
Oh, yeah.
He would have won them all.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. I mean, 24 All-Stars. 24.
Yeah.
That's insane.
12 Gold Gloves.
Right? I mean, 3,293 hits. Still batted over 300, 301, and you still hit 660 home runs, Ron.
Yeah, and you got to think that the time period he was playing in, the pressure that he was facing, death threats, everything, right? Hit 301 with 660 home runs. How many power hitters could do that? Not many.
Not many. So it was great. No, that was a great list, great players. I mean, it's so much fun. Because again, listen, we pretty much had the same. I had Ichiro in, you had Pedro in. Other than that, the players would have been the same. So
yeah, we had the same core group that
Yeah.
was up there.
So
And we recognized all
And you
the
got
great players.
1962, first All-Star MVP was named Maury Wills of the Los Angeles Dodgers. So since
You forgot
1962,
the American League and National League both had one, and Maury Wills is a name. The other guy was just like, I don't know, random. I can't remember. It was like Longmire or something
Oh,
like
wow.
that, but it wasn't Longmire. But
good times.